Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carothers, and welcome to another installment of everyone's favorite 30-minute horse racing program. That is right. It's time to kick off your weekend with Blinkers Off. And I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do the show in 30 minutes today. We have so much to talk about. We're going to go international on you. We're going to talk about the greatest horse in the world, Frankel, who's competing Newbury in the Group 1 Lockage tomorrow. We'll be discussing that matter. Oh, by the way, it's Preakness 137. We'll be talking about that with my man Ray Paulick from the Paulick Report, and handicap some great racing from across the country. The Affirmed Success, the Marge Everett, our spotlight race at Betfair Hollywood Park. But let's get started. A lot to discuss over the next 30 minutes. So very pleased right now to introduce a friend right now who's joining us from somewhere in England. Nothing diseased about this guy. He's Betfair TVG correspondent, my man Graham Cunningham. Graham, how are you? Thank you so much for taking time to join us this morning, or this evening where you are.
Well, it's late afternoon. Good quality racing at York just finishing this afternoon. But fantastic to be with you to talk about, as you said, no need for one of those, the greatest horse on the planet. Just a full stop at the end of that.
Okay, all righty. But before I got it, we were chatting before the show. You told me right now, I asked you where you were, you said you're at your home, and you said you were in your garage. That is the nicest garage I've ever seen. Are you literally in a garage? Your garage is nicer than my bedroom.
Some would call it a converted garage, Matt. I like to call it the nerve center. It's where the magic happens, or sometimes...
So is your car right next to you right now?
No, that's in a separate...
Oh, it's a separate garage where I keep the cars. Okay, wow.
We have estates in England, as you know.
And your golf game is good?
Golf game is good. It goes with the back. If the back's good, the golf's good, and the back's good at the moment.
All right, well, how good is Frankel going to be? What a transition that was. In the Lockage, Newbury. First start in 7 months. He had I don't know what kind of a setback it was, and you have the minor setback, the layoff. Is he vulnerable at all? What's his competition like?
His competition is strong, but he's beaten them before. His main competition is Acceleration and Strong Suit. He beat Acceleration Hollow at Newbury last year. Acceleration is one of the horses who chases him home here in the QE2 at Ascot on Champions Day last October. Here's Frankel. Look at that gliding, powerful action. Poetry in motion. Acceleration is in second place at the moment. He carries different colours tomorrow. He's left a top quality Italian trainer based in Newmarket, Marco Botti. He's now under the Aidan O'Brien Coolmore banner. There is nothing and Coolmore would like more than to take this horse down. But he's had 3 cracks at Celebration at Frankel, and he's failed every time.
All right, early on in his career, is it fair to say that he was just this incredible talent? And then a few races back, he started to figure out, how to be a pro to go with that talent. And now he has the ability to rate a little bit. What are you expecting? Are you expecting more of that, I'm guessing, for him to blossom even further? How much better can he get? He was pretty good towards the end of his 3-year-old year.
It depends on the opposition. He needs a top quality rival to see what his limits are. At the moment, none of us knows what his limits are. He's in the top 4 horses of all time on time form ratings, but he needs a top quality rival to stretch him. As regards his approach to racing, his character, I think he's still going to be explosive, but he has learned to settle a little better. So Henry Cecil, his trainer, is adamant we are going to see a more controlled, more relaxed horse this year. But it wouldn't be Frankel if he didn't take a fierce hold and then power clear late on. It's hugely exciting to see him back.
Yeah.
And nobody knows for sure.
All right, but before we get to Black Caviar, I guess we have to discuss that a little bit. The plan is for him to obviously romp in this race, and then they want to stretch out in distance to, mile and a quarter. Can he relax and rate, in your opinion, at those further distances?
I think he can, and if he does, what he could do over 10 furlongs, mile and a quarter, could be truly jaw-dropping. He's by Galileo, remember, and virtually every good horse that Galileo has produced, and there have been plenty of them on turf, have been better over 10 furlongs than they were over a mile. If Frankel conforms to that type, then the sky really is the limit. But remember, he's had 7 months off. He has had a slight setback. Everything's okay now. There was a rumor going around on 14th of April. Yeah. It went wide on Twitter that he was about to be retired. That's not so. We're very fortunate as fans and horse players that he's back. but we need him to perform. It's about 100 seconds of action tomorrow. It could all be a big letdown, but it could and should set the stage for what could be a spectacular, historic season for Frankel.
You talked about those time form ratings, and not only is he #1 in that category out of the horses in the world that are currently in training, he's up there on the all-time lists in terms of time form ratings, and he's only raced 9 times, and he hasn't even raced yet as a 4-year-old. We're looking at some of the highest time form ratings of all time, and pretty amazing. Third there at 143. Because of the time form ratings and the way he's been defeating his opposition, when it comes to Black Caviar, who's pretty spectacular in her own right at 21 for 21, what's the feeling there? What's the feeling there? Is Black Caviar just kind of a nice little filly? Or, I mean, what kind of respect do the people there have for what Black Caviar has been able to accomplish in Australia?
I think tremendous respect. Anyone who understands how deep the Aussie sprinting division has been for years and years has to rate this a world-class filly. She's a little bit less explosive than Frankel.
Could she beat him? Could she beat him?
No, I don't think so. I would bet Frankel hard if the two ever met, and I hope and pray they do meet. It seems there's a one-shot chance the Sussex Stakes at Glorious Goodwood in high summer that they might meet over a mile. But otherwise, they will both come to Ascot and they will run in separate races. Frankel on the Tuesday in the Queen Anne Stakes, Black Caviar in the Diamond Jubilee on the Saturday. It's going to be sad if they don't ever meet, because we might have a historic Royal Ascot where both horses shine brilliantly, and then we go away. All of us will say 2 words, Matt. What if?
That's right. That's right. At Royal Ascot, you'll be able to watch, wager on all these races, June 19th to June 23rd. I'm guessing you're going to be there. I know Simon Bray is going to be there with coverage for the network. You're going to be there as well, aren't you?
I'm going to be there. I've advised Simon to save his salmon tie with black spots for the Saturday for the Carothers.
No.
And the green pink for Prince Khalid on Tuesday with Frankel. But look at that list of races. Yeah. It is a stellar cast right through the week. We hope for good weather. We know the crowds will be rammed. Over 300,000 people will be there through the week. All the pageantry, all the royalty.
Does anything rival it? I mean, you've been to so many different big events. Does anything rival it?
Nothing quite like it in terms of the show. It's like My Fair Lady brought to the modern era. Everyone's dressed up to the nines. Yeah. Everyone is watching each other. Who's got the best fashions? Who's got the best horses? Is what we're most bothered about. And it has become year on year a truly international occasion. Runners from Australia, runners from the Far East, runners from America, and some significant ones perhaps.
Yeah, how good was Rex Harrison? Wow, I mean that is one of the all-time greats. Yeah, look forward to that. And Americans, made the splash a couple of years ago with Wesley Ward. Stephanie's Kitten coming off a big win. Keeneland. What do you make of some of the U.S. runners going over there? I mean, we're starting to send more and more horses over there every year, right?
Yeah, and I think everyone wants the foreign raiders to do well because it just adds spice to the international mix. I give this filly a very sporting chance.
It's Churchill, not Keeneland, the Edgewood. Yep.
Yeah, but the weather stays good, so much the better, because she clearly handles fast conditions well. I thought the American Challenge last year floundered in the mud. It rained hard, and the American turf horses that came over, Wesley Ward horses, just couldn't handle the conditions. But I did see Ken Ramsey several times through the week.
He did.
And he was just buzzing about the whole occasion. So no surprise that he wants to come back, and no surprise that he comes back with a very talented filly.
He's just a happy man. He loves life, and he loves this game, and he's kind of put his heart and soul in it, talking about Ken Ramsey. So, again, let's get back to Frankel before I let you go. Someone like you nervous at all? I mean, this is a horse that you revere, a horse that you've been around this game for a long time. You consider one of the all-time greats. Is you a little bit nervous because you have nothing to gain, really, from winning this race tomorrow? You're supposed to. You're going to be the shortest price that you can possibly be, and everything to lose if things don't go well.
Exactly. That is a neat summing up of the situation. He has to win, and he has to win good looking, because if he has to be pushed out to be X-Celebration, it means that the gap is closing between those two horses. And from what we know, the gap is 3, 4, maybe 5 lengths. As regards the betting, people will bet him here. If you look at Black Caviar's SPs in Australia, starting prices over the last year or so, 1 to 25, 1 to 20, 1 to 14, 1 to 33. On Betfair here, there are people who will be betting 1,000 to win 300, 100 to win 30,
wow.
10 to win 3,000. There will be that sort of bet flying around non-stop. People over here, they appreciate how good Frankel is, but it doesn't stop them on Betfair trying to get him beaten. So it's a classic betting exchange setup, this. The people who have made money time and again, rolling over on Frankel, going again, and those people who say it cannot last, it won't last, trying to get him beaten. So 10 gets you 3 for Frankel. It should be a cakewalk, but it's a horse race, and you never know.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing a horse that you consider one of the greats of all time make his 4-year-old debut in Frankel in the Lock-in Jet Newberry. Maybe Black Caviar, maybe, probably not, but maybe coming over for the Breeders' Cup at the end of the year. Graham Cunningham, appreciate you taking out your time to hang out in your garage and talk to us on this little program we call Blinkers Off.
Pleasure, Matt. See you at Ascot.
Wow, you have a fridge back there and everything. Well, what kind of beer do you have in the fridge, quickly?
Not much at the moment. Trying to be sensible. Trying to be simple. Picture behind me.
You got to stock up. You got Frankel. You got the Preakness. Come on, you got to get prepared for this weekend.
One second.
Come on. Let's. Okay. What are we doing here? Oh, there.
This one.
Yeah, we don't need no stinking beer. Okay. All right. So you'll be popping that cork at some point tomorrow in celebration. Thanks, Graham. Appreciate it. Have fun.
Good luck, all.
Betfair TVG correspondent Graham Cunningham, somewhere in England, chatting with us. And Graham, I was talking to him before we went on the air, and he's going to obviously be tuned in to Preakness 137 as well at Pimlico Racecourse. I think that race goes off, he said, about 10:30 his time. Our time here on the West Coast, 3:18, 6:18 Eastern, and deposit early. Right now, folks, you can wager on Preakness number 137. Get that $150 sign-up bonus. Sign up for a new account. Bet Preakness 137. Wager at least $250 for 3 consecutive months. And you'll get back $50, $50, and $50 if you do that. If you do that every month. That totals $150, folks. Special wagers as well. And I'm glad we had this graphic because I thought maybe it would be the Black-Eyed Susan Preakness double, but it's not. It's the Pimlico Special, which is today. It's race number 12, and it looks like a salty group of 9 in a really good betting race. So it's the Pimlico Special, race 12 today, to Preakness 137, race 12 tomorrow. Late pick 4, $1 million guaranteed, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the early pick 4 at Pimlico, 5, 6, 7, and 8, with $250,000 guaranteed. And the weather is supposed to be spectacular. Fast and firm today at Pimlico, and same track conditions. I'm thinking we are going to have tomorrow as well. Time for our one and only commercial timeout. When we come back, Ray Paulick and some handicapping after this. Oh, welcome back to Blinkers Off. Black-Eyed Susan Day, race 10 at Pimlico, the 1st and 14. Mile and a 16th, scratch the 8th, Sneaky Lil. Universal language. Wonder what that could be. 12 for 36. Lifetime, currently hammered. Kendrick Carmouche, even money in the opener at Pimlico. The picture, I think my ROI is minus like 2,500 now. Gunboat third. Peter Pan. Mark Valesky, Ray, I thought this was a bad favorite and he couldn't have won any easier. That happens in this game. And the Decathlon again. Only 3 of the 8 finished the race, but it's good news, folks, because all 5 of the horses okay, and all 5 of the riders were okay. So, but both our selections, I think, were effective. The Haystack Needle missed the break, rank, and ran awful. Oh, no! No! Hide the children! Hide them! All right, it's long enough. Get it off! Get it off! All right, play of the day for Saturday. And again, I need, singles aren't going to cut it now. I need some extra base hits. Race number 6 is a doozy at Belmont on Saturday. Inner turf course, weather's supposed to be spectacular in New York as well. Optional 75 race, and Chosen Empire, the 4. My go-to grass price guy in New York is Jose Espinosa, and he's aboard the 4. I really liked his win on the 8th of April. He put away the favorite. He won like a good thing. I think he sits off Colgan's Chip, who can't win the race because he hasn't raced in more than a year. I'll go with Chosen Empire, the 4, at a very contentious 6th race at Belmont, 12-1. Morning line, as promised, we bring in the purveyor of the Paulick Report, my man from Baltimore, Buzz in the biz. Paulick Report, Ray Paulick right now. And Ray, you are, let's see where you are right now. You're in your hotel room, I think. Okay, I see a bed behind you. Hotel room in Baltimore.
Hotel room in Baltimore. We're heading to the track soon.
Okay, all righty. I kind of like the downtown area there. It's kind of nice, right? They have the ESPN zone, and I think Camden's not that far away. I mean, there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah, the ESPN zone is actually closed now.
Oh, no!
Yeah, a few things turned over there. Yeah, it's too bad.
What a shame.
There's still a lot of fun places down in the Inner Harbor. It's a great area.
Okay.
In fact, they had the party there last night for the Preakness at the Discovery Zone, which is a children's museum, and they had a mechanical bull, and old Doug O'Neill, I think he was on the bull for about a second, was the best ride he had.
All right, well, at least he did it. At least he manned up and got on the bull, even though he was there not even a full second. Okay, if you've heard anything, because again, you're a man, you're surreptitious, you sneak around, you're incognito. If you've heard anything over the last day or two, feel free to dish out that information right now. In terms of the Preakness, you gave us some information with Doug O'Neill on the mechanical bull, so I appreciate that. First of all, any of these new shooters interest you at all in the Preakness?
Not really.
Any of them?
I really don't think so. The one thing I've heard, and that's encouraging, is that Creative Cause is doing a much better, making a much better appearance here this week than he did at the Derby. So Creative Cause, I think, might run a bigger race than he did in Kentucky.
And he ran well in Kentucky. I mean, he was right there mid-stretch. That was a pretty good performance.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Hey, that horse shows up every time. He's as consistent as they are. So, but the new shooters don't do much for me.
Okay, I'm hearing, it seems like Bodemeister, tell me if I'm wrong, that people either really love him or really dislike him. Not too many people are kind of on the fence or ambivalent when it comes to Bodemeister. I mean, I think he's clearly the horse to beat. I thought he ran spectacularly well in the Derby. I think the cutback's going to help him. The pace is going to be as strong. So I understand it was a real fast track that day, but whatever he went 45-1 is still 45-1 for the half mile. What camp do you fall in? Because other people are like, oh, he's going to regress. He can't handle. He had the Arkansas Derby and then the Kentucky Derby, and he's going to bounce to the moon. Where do you fall on Bodemeister?
Well, I'm in that bounce. I'm in that bounce category.
You are.
I think
he's going to regress.
Yeah, I am. Yep, I do. I think it's a textbook play for him. There's no other speed in the race. Short race, he should get much softer fractions, but I don't think he's going to hang in there all the way.
Okay, all right. But I'm guessing if you think he gets an easy lead, but he's going to stop, then you're looking for somebody who's going to be fairly close to him to take advantage of that when he sort of hits the wall mid-stretch.
Yeah, and I'll have another. You got to win this race on the turn. If you're from off the pace, you've got to the move before you get into the stretch. And I think I'll have another will be much closer today than he was in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, all right. So you're going to go with your Derby winner coming back and winning in almost the same way. It's going to be deja vu all over again in the Preakness. He's going to sit behind Bodemeister.
Yeah, but I'd throw Creative Cause into the mix too.
Okay, and then Creative. So you think Bodemeister's not hit the board? Is that what you're saying to me right now? He's going to.
No, I think he will. I think he's going to be third.
Okay, we're having some audio problems with right now.
Okay.
Now this is live TV and Skype in a hotel room. I'm sure it's a luxurious one in Baltimore. So I think that you said just then that you think that Bodemeister might hang around for third.
Yeah,
in this
that
race.
would be that's my projection for him.
Okay, it worked for me last year, and I'm a horse player, and I'm a routine-oriented person. I'm just a creature of habit by nature. If I get thrown out of my element, right, I'm not like you. I couldn't travel all the time and live at different hotels. I would just go nuts. Last year, I liked Shackelford in the Derby. He ran great, but he didn't win. But I didn't give up, and I came back in the Preakness, and I made some money on him. So I'm going to do the same thing with Went the Day Well. He was my Derby horse. He ran extremely well in the Derby. He didn't break very well. I think the blinkers helped him. So I'm going to come back with Went the Day Well. I know the price is going to be 5 or 6 to 1 as opposed to the 30 to 1 that he was in the Derby. But I don't want to miss him at $13, $14, and I think he's going to run a big race again. I think Bodemeister is the horse to beat, but I'm going to go with Went the Day Well in Preakness 137. Our spotlight race, formerly the Milady, as recently as last year, now the Marge Everett handicap grade 2 event, Betfair Hollywood Park, going a mile and a 16th. It's kind of a salty grade 2, Mr. Paulick, because you have a couple of grade 1 winners and grade 1 horses in this race, winners, and Include Me Out, the one for Ron Ellis, in Zazu for John Sadler.
Yeah, I think it comes down to a 3-horse race here with Ella Fitz, the third, the third filly that has a shot. I think Zazu looks like she's been working superbly for John Sadler, and I think she's the best horse in the race. And if she's ready, she's gonna put on a good performance and win it.
Okay, Include Me Out for Ron Ellis. Boy, she gotten good. I mean, she pulls an upset and wins the La Cañada. She does it handily. Yep. Then she comes back as your second choice. It's a 4-horse field, but still able to win Santa Margarita on the 17th of March. Yeah, she's run extremely well off of the exact same lap. She just did it in her grade 1 win. But I just think that Ella Fitz controls things. And Baffert's in one of those streaks right now where he just can't lose. He's just unbelievable. So I'm gonna get Baffert third choice with a mare that likes the synthetic, the cushion track at Betfair Hollywood Park, and should just walk to the front. And the man's 50% right now, Baffert. So I'm going to go with Ella Fitz to pull the minor upset, beating the grade 1 winners, Include Me Out, and Ella Fitz. As we move to the Assumed Success at Belmont, he was a great 7-furlong horse for Rich Schosberg back in the day. He was favored in the 98 sprint, not quick enough to keep up with the re-race, who engaged to wire Nakatani for Craig DeLassy that year. Field of 6 lined up here. Saginaw is 8-5 morning line. That's going to turn into 4-5, isn't it? Isn't this horse going to get crushed based on what he's done in his last 1, 2, 3, 4 races?
Yeah, he looks tough to beat, but I'm going with the Rick Dutrow rail improvement factor with Uncle T7. Ran big last time. Yeah. And I think the rail is a little bit of a problem for me. It's going 7, but that's who I like in this race.
I'm with you. I like Uncle T7. He's been pace compromised. Last time he lost, he lost to Mind Over Matter, who was a better racehorse over an off track, and that was a sloppy situation in New York. Before that, he's third to a really good horse and well positioned. He was pace compromised versus Stormy's Majesty. The key to the race is Spa City Fever. Can young Sammy Camacho bother Saginaw at all on the front? If he can't, Saginaw probably wins wire to wire. If he can, then I think Uncle T7 is the other horse, Rosie Napravnik, for Rick Dutrow. The Henry Grade 2 $150,000 event at Woodbine Saturday, 6.5 furlongs, the distance of this race. And what did I say, a field of 9? 6 of the 9 coming out of the same race. And in that same race, Roxy Gap was able to win. And now Roxy Gap makes her third start off an 8-month layoff. So I guess she's going to be your post-time favorite. We don't have morning line odds for this race yet, and she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I think she is too, but Atlantic Hurricane needed the race. It's only second start back for this one. The connections are kind of cold, which bugged me a little bit, but loves the track, and as I said, needed the race last out, ran pretty well, and I think we'll move up today on Saturday.
Okay, I'm going to go with Anne's Beauty in here. And Paul Attard, the trainer, sizzling right now. Second start of a 6.5-month layoff. When Emma Jane Wilson rides for Paul Attard, good things happen. They're like 12 for 33 when they team up together. And cutting back to 6.5 furlongs, I think she's going to get an ideal trip over a surface that she really likes. She gets off the grass better on the synthetic and over the Woodbine synthetic. 6 starts, 3 W's, 2 silvers, 1 bronze in her 6 races over the synthetic at Woodbine. So I will go with Anne's Beauty, little price at 9-2 in the Hendry. All right, Ray. So you're going over to the track in just a few moments.
Yeah.
And as we update the odds for the first, not to throw you a curveball at this point, because I'm not sure if you have the info in front of you right now, but Black Eyed Susan, you have welcome guest Mama Kimbo for Baffert. Do you have any opinion in that race or the Pimlico Special later on? Endorsement, Mission Impossible, Hymn Book. Anybody you like later on?
I think the Pimlico Special came up really tough.
It did.
And, alternation is coming off a big race and will be tough. And I don't know. It's a deep field. I think Mama Kimbo stands out in the Black Eyed Susan, but the Pimlico Special looks like a really fantastic race today.
All right, Ray, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Paulick Report, Ray Paulick. Go there, enjoy it, love it. You know, he's on top of things, everything that's going on in the industry at Paulick Report. Ray, enjoy yourself. I want to hear from you. Blinkers Off at tvg.com. I want to take on the world. I won't be doing it next time. This is my fault. I did not tell the producer I'm off next week. But I am off. Maybe somebody else will take on the world. Maybe Greg Wolf is man enough to take on the entire galaxy. We'll find out. I'll see you next time on this program in 2 weeks.